Hey guys, good morning. So I basically wanted to talk to you guys about how I was feeling yesterday. The kids are about to switch classes, so it's gonna be a lot of noise in the background. Um, but don't mind it. So yesterday night I was feeling like really, really ugly and insecure and thinking about how I felt rejected before in my life. People that I was, dealt with briefly, how they treated me, thinking about how if you get in an argument with someone on social media, first thing they'll do is call me ugly. And that's a trigger for me because when I was a little girl, I was basically excluded and not, apart or put apart or made to be apart because I look different. There's definitely a big discrimination and separation when it comes to like people who come from different cultures. Like I was born in Miami, but I'm Haitian, and I definitely don't look American. I look like my culture. And because if you don't look American back in when I was a kid, or if you dressed different or had a different culture, people didn't want to hang with you. People looked at you like, you were different and they treated you different. It wasn't like, oh, I embrace your culture. Oh, you're Muslim, so I embrace you wearing like, your little head covering. Oh, you're a Jew, I embrace you wearing your little, the little thing they wear at the top of their head. I don't know for sure the name of it, but I mean, they wear it. Oh, you're Haitian, you look different and you look Caribbean, and your mom, dresses you a certain way. You have a different perspective or a different way of style or how you feel you should present yourself. I still accept you because you're a human being. It wasn't like that. The world is a very, very prejudiced place, and so I was excluded. I felt very rejected and excluded, and when I was younger, and I felt rejected and very different because all the kids would hang out, and my mom was a single parent, so I didn't have like name brand clothes on and name brand shoes on every other day or every week. So they separated themselves from me and, other people who didn't have that. And that affected me. Like, I didn't realize that it affected me until I saw how low my self-esteem was, how I felt like really worthless and unaccepted. And that stems from my childhood. I remember there was this girl that I used to go like to maybe elementary school with. And when we got to middle school, I'll never forget her. We used to basically go to elementary school together. We got to middle school, and I remember I recognized her, and I was like, oh, hey, such and such. You remember me? I was like so excited to say, like, you remember me? I know you. And she was like, I don't know you. Knowing damn well she knows me, knowing that we went to the same elementary school, had the same classes, but she didn't know me because she was the cool girl. And I was like, the girl that wasn't so cool, you know what I mean? So, that was like a rejection that I experienced, and she did that in front of like people, and it was like hurtful, and I was embarrassed. And little things like that, things that you experience from your childhood, you may not react or say something about how you feel at that moment, but the worst thing that we do sometimes is internalize it, and then it plays itself out later in your adulthood. And childhood definitely was like, not the best experience in school. My mom made it great for me, but school-wise, I didn't have a good time. I was too busy trying to find love and acceptance, and I felt like I didn't get that. And I remember the kids, I was in choir, and, the kids used to make fun of the fact that I had big lips. They used to call me like Big Lip Bandit, and they used to say stuff about my lips and stuff. And they used to like make fun of the fact that I had full lips. And I remember I used to want to get a lip reduction. I used to say when I get rich, I'm going to get a lip reduction because, I have big lips, and people are making fun of me for it. And the guys used to be really nasty and say that my lips are good for like one thing, which is like giving head or something. And I really didn't like my lips, so I was just kind of like, I'm gonna get a reduction. I'm happy I didn't, because now it's like everybody is trying to get like fillers and stuff, and I just naturally have these things, so I'm really happy that I didn't go through with it. But people, when I was younger, my experiences and people not telling me I'm beautiful, people not accepting the way that I look, made me feel unattractive, and that made me grow up with a low self-esteem, and I always felt like I was ugly and unattractive because I don't look like the typical American girl. Soft cheekbones, soft appearances. I have strong cheekbones, I have big lips, I have a very exotic foreign appearance. I don't look like I'm from the States. I look like I'm from across the waters. I look like something from like, I've been called, a lot of people come up to me and ask me where I'm from. They don't, and when I say Miami, they're like, really? Because I look different. But America needs to understand that different is good, and not everybody looks the same, and there's different kind of beauties that God made. Just because I don't look like Lauren London doesn't make me ugly. Just because I don't look like, Gabrielle Union, or just because I have strong cheekbones doesn't make me ugly. Just because I'm from a certain culture, like being Haitian, doesn't make me ugly. They have this, back in the day, ignorance. The stigma behind Haitians was, oh, Haitians are ugly, or Haitians eat cat, which is not true. We don't eat cat. We eat very good, and we're not ugly, like all because ignorance. So stuff like that contributed to just me having a real low self-esteem, and with low self-esteem comes you being unsure of yourself. Like, I remember in school, I had a hard time grasping like math, and I was really bad at it, and I didn't get it as quick as other kids. I didn't grasp it as quick as other kids, and if I did grasp it, it's like the teacher would ask questions, and I would just kind of be like, okay, I know the answer, but I'm not going to raise my hand, because what if I'm wrong? I would be afraid to speak up. I was a very weak, quiet child, and I had no backbone. I was a welcome doormat. That's what I was when I was a kid, and I grew up like that, and then I broke out of it recently in adulthood. I decided I can't let people treat me any kind of way. I can't be a doormat anymore. I have to be strong. And so I learned how to be strong because life had to make me strong. If I had not been strong during certain circumstances, I wouldn't be here today. And I'll just share this particular story with you guys. Another thing that contributed to like just me feeling really low about myself, and contributing to my depression, and just me feeling like I was worthless and stuff. I remember when I was in school, we had a substitute teacher, and the class, like, she let us do anything. We used to wrestle in that class. Like, we used to wrestle and all of that. So one day, this guy was picking on me. This little boy was picking on me. And back in the day, when somebody picks on you, the pickup line is yo mama. So he said something to me, and I said yo mama. And he got up, walked over to where I was seated at, and slapped the dog shit out of me. Slapped me in my face, a little boy. And I burst into tears, and the teacher got up and, okay, class. And then she said, okay, class, let's, carry on with the lesson. She carried on with the lesson. She didn't defend me. She didn't say you're wrong. She didn't write a referral. She just let him slap me, watched me cry, and got up and carried on with the day's lesson. And that day I learned that I was worthless, and that I was not worth defending, and that I was not worth help. So I was trained to believe that if bad things should happen to me, and bad things are supposed to happen to me, and if something happens to me, shut up and don't say anything about it, and it's okay, and you deserve to be treated like shit. You deserve to be treated like bad. You deserve to be abused. You deserve to be harmed, because she literally watched this dude slap the hell out of me, and I'm a girl. I'm in the 3rd grade, and she didn't do anything. I was like, maybe if the girl was maybe prettier, or maybe if the girl was like had name brand clothes on, would you help her? Like, you know, people judge based on appearance. So people are ignorant like that. Like, if she was a different girl, would you have helped her? If she was one of the popular girls in the classroom and did that, and he did that to her, would you have stood up for her? Because you know her mom is going to come out here and wild out. And on top of that, maybe her appearance would make you feel like she's worth defending. I just felt like something was wrong with me because she didn't help me. And so I went home. Since she didn't defend me, I felt like, well, why should I go tell my mom? Obviously, I'm not worth it, so I'm just not going to tell my mom. I didn't tell my mom, and I went home and I internalized that, and I remember it to this day. So it's different things like that in my life that happened to me when I was a child, that made me believe that grew me up to be a very insecure woman, that grew me up to be a very, very self-conscious woman about my looks, about how I look, about everything. And I still struggle with insecurity issues and self-esteem issues. You know, I still, like, just yesterday I was like, oh, I'm ugly, I'm a piece of shit, I'm worthless, I am fucking disgusting. I was saying all this stuff to myself, and this morning I briefly snapped out of it. But, you know, sometimes those thoughts, they come and they go, and then they come again when something happens or something triggers it, and then it goes again, and then it comes. My goal in life is to just become a very confident person, not giving a fuck what nobody had to say about me, because I still give a fuck about what people think to a certain extent. It's not like when I was a child, but my goal is to be confident and to do everything in my power to make myself happy with myself. And you know, I haven't reached the point where other girls are, where they're really confident and don't give a fuck, but being that right now I still do a little bit, I'm just working on that. And my message to people would be, you know, no matter how flawed you are, or no matter what's been done to you in your childhood, you're beautiful. Even if you don't feel that way, just know you are. And one day you'll feel what people see, because people would tell me I'm beautiful, and you know. But my thing is, another thing that hurt me was when I was dating this guy. You know, we got in an argument and he called me ugly. I'm your girlfriend and we get in an argument and you call me ugly. Okay, so if I'm ugly, why are you with me? If you feel that way, why are you with me? How could you date someone and say that they're ugly, but you're with them? So that will make me think, like, even my own boyfriend thinks I'm ugly. What the fuck? Like, I'm just disgusting. You know, I remember that hurt my feelings, because sometimes they say when people are mad, they tell you the truth, and it's like, how could you really sit up there and spend all fucking year trying to get me, only to call me ugly when you're upset? And you know, that really hurt my feelings, because you know, you want approval from your significant other. And the fact that he put me down, and we were arguing about an ex-girlfriend that I felt he was messing with. So I'm like, you know, that bitch is not even cute. I'm going off about it. And he's going to put me down and tell me, well, what about you? You're ugly. So you're going to defend her and put me down? That was the end of that. And so I've been through a lot, you know, just little things like that made me who I am today, but I'm working on it. And I'm not going to lie and say, oh, you know, you're beautiful, and, you know, especially if you don't feel it or whatever. But all I can say is, you know, fight to see the beauty in you and do what you can to feel beautiful, and fight until you feel it and know it. And, you know, when you finally get to the point of confidence, you know, run with it and never look back, because it's nothing worse than being trapped in your own mind, you know, feeling like you ain't shit and walking around every day dead and hurt, and nobody knows it. But you got to put a smile on your face to go to work, and you have to put a smile on your face to be with your patients, and you have to go put a smile on your face to, you know, function in society, but you're dead inside. It's nothing worse than that. So when you do finally reach the point of being alive, you know, run with it and never look back. So yeah, guys, I'll see you guys next video. I just wanted to share that with you guys. Think about your childhood. What happened in your childhood that maybe made you who you are today? You know, because a lot of things you ignore or repress, may be the very issue of why you are how you are. And once you recognize them, write them down. And once you recognize them, you know, say the opposite of those feelings and work on them to eradicate that negativity so you can have a healthy adult life. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to be trapped in your childhood forever. So, yeah, I'm gonna go, guys, now.